Let's talk when you're free. Hey, Captain. I heard that Groundbreaker's got a real good engineer. A lady named Junlei Tennyson? I was thinking that maybe I ought to meet her. If you got time to swing us by, I mean. I don't got much experience fixing actual spaceships. I bet you a can of Borston beans she could teach me all manner of stuff. Thanks, Captain. I'll be sure to make it worth your time. Did you want to talk about something else?
Yes, Captain? As always, I am at your disposal. Anything you'd like to discuss? Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition. That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town, much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them. My parents, ironically. They internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. They thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me. The simple version is this. The force which we call the Grand Architect created the universal equation that underlies and defines everything flows from the equation, or in layman's terms, the grand plan. Is the Grand Architect a consciousness? The answers to these questions don't really matter. The equation, the plan, is all that matters. The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our paths have variance, but we'll end up adhering. Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but the further outside you go, it's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction. I have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated. What about you? What's your story? And how did he do that? Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment I believe you. What are you going to do now? That seems a dangerous proposition. Why risk your life now that it's been returned to you? Oh, I see. You have my... Bakonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the Philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony. Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan. But most of the Philosophist perversion of Bakonu's thoughts came more than a century after his death. I've been thinking on that. There's a former infamous Philosophist scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Bakonu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him. That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests. I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifests to track the full... Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain, secular skills during my years. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. Thank you, Captain. I find myself marveling at something Of course. Are you ready to break into... If I can access the data cartridge from the terminal in security, that'll give us dates, times, and the crew... I'll comb the last 6 months of departure manifest to... Thank you. By verity, by strength. What are we contemplating today?
just checking your ship's manifest.
Captain. Hey, Captain. I'm in space. I never thought I'd be able to say that. Yeah, huh?
That's not the point. This halfwit just knocked out one of my workers.
Yeah, with a toss ball stick. I heard you the first time. There weren't any witnesses.
It's always fucking freezing in the base.
Shut it.
I wonder what that fella did to get the board so wild at him.
Customs and inspection, right this way. Identification, please. Captain Hawthorne, you said. Let me apologize. According to your ship's record, you've been flagged by the board. Your ship will be impounded until...
But we've hardly been out of Edgewater long enough to get in trouble.
Now, hold on. This isn't the end of the world. Probably. You'll want to take it up with Udom Bedford, our board rep. His office is located along the starboard wall of the promenade. Shines like a Byzantium commode. You can't miss it. Access to that information is above my pay grade, and I've turned down 3 promotions, so it stays that way. If I had to take a guess as to why, you must have riled up some... You take the starch out of him, well, you won't hear any complaints from me. Oh, and if you're headed that way, would you mind doing me a favor? Wanda Dorset over in sickbay, tell her the shipment's not in yet. It's not coming in anytime soon, and if she'd be so obliged to get off my ass about it. Is there anything else I can help you with? You noticed, huh? What can I say? We're passionate folks, and the board can't abide that independent spirit, especially not when it might impact all their interstellar freighters come through us, and we skim a few bits off the top in manifest processing fees with every one. Folks around here will bluster that the board hates our freedom, but really, they know we can stop their out-system shipments anytime we like. You sure you didn't just step off one of the interstellar freighters? There's no working with the board. They don't share, not bits, people, or resources. Groundbreaker cooperating now would be tantamount to joining their ranks, and we sure as It's a delicate balance, right? We could cancel their freighters' docking privileges in retaliation, but where'd that lead us? They got assault cruisers, gunships, and a handful of mining operations at their fingertips. We push them too hard, maybe they decide we'd be better in 10 trillion little pieces. Or they cobble together a new groundbreaker and put us out of business.
The board wouldn't do that. Would they?
It's a tough line to walk, no doubt about that. But we make do all right. So far, anyway. The fence. You'll find her in the rest and go, on your left when you enter the promenade. Make sure you bring an empty belly. Most places are on the promenade deck. Big door yonder, straight through security. There's a bar on the starboard side. I got a preference for the Lost Hope myself. Talk to Vera. She'll set you right. You need anything else? You let me know. Don't want anyone saying Groundbreaker's not the most hospitable port in the colony. Maybe. Most of the shipping traffic in the system passes through Groundbreaker. Every couple of months, two biggest operations are the board. That is, Halcyon Holdings and Sublight Salvage. But there are independent operators around the promenade deck. Most of those jobs are going to take you off station, though. Are you pulling my leg? You must be one of them long-haul freighters from outside the colony. Well, it goes like this. Back on Earth, before the crossing, the powers that be were selling off stakes in distant star systems they thought had potential. A bunch of companies decided to throw in together and form the Halcyon Holdings Corporation, then buy up the rights to this here colony. That group's what... Yep, Groundbreaker's the only real independent port. Aside from us, there's just tramp... Seems like every year the board's offices get bigger and their ships take up more of the landing bays. Haven't seen nearly as many tramp crews this year. Groundbreaker was one of the original colony vessels to come over on the crossing, a few years before her sister ship, the Hope. Once everybody'd been de-thawed and dropped dirt side, the original crew of the Groundbreaker decided they rather liked the spacefaring life. I guess that was the start of our independent spirit. Now, here... Sitting around drinking whiskey and smoking cigars, yeah, probably. Can't say for sure, of course. Doubt I'll ever see the Glad to help. Relative to the board holdings? Not really. But there's a few with the means to go where they will. They aren't rich, but they aren't likely to look too close at your work history either. They strip the parts from derelict ships and abandoned outposts. There's some that say they make the derelicts and encourage folks to abandon their steads. Sublight gives me the creeps. I've known folks who went to work for them and just vanished. They're on the promenade run by a woman named Lilia Hagen. I'm only telling you so you know to avoid them. Commandant Sanita might have a couple of folks she needs killed. Bad folks, I mean. Not regular folks. She'll be at the security. Chief Junlei might have an errand needs running. She's all tied up trying to fix our heat problem. You'll find her in engineering.
No kidding? I'd love to get a look at this old girl's innards. I bet they're real twisty and weird. In a good way.
If you're thinking to make a career here, don't waste your time. Full-time jobs on Groundbreaker tend to be inherited, or go to a fellow crew member's kid. Keep it in the family, you know. All right. He's friendly enough unless you speak ill of the board. Get the sense he doesn't care for Groundbreaker. Not that he would, being a board man and all. Sure thing. Be seeing you.
Hi there. Haven't seen you around before. What can Groundbreaker Security do for you today? This is the security. If you're here to report a crime, you'll want to talk to Commandant Sunita. I'm not authorized. I'm not so good at filing. Mix up first name and surname 127. Folks are liable to start taking your filing privileges away. We can't just let anyone walk in here. I wouldn't be, well, maybe if you clear an open bounty and get in good with Commandant Sunita, or help Chief Tennyson fix this heat, that might warrant a thank you tour or something. Well, let me... No? Yeah, I'm getting that, but this area's off limits. Maybe if you clear an open bounty and get in good with Commandant Sunita, or help Chief Tennyson fix this heat, that might warrant a thank you tour. I told you, I'm not allowed... All right. Sure, and stuff from outside the system too, off the interstellar freighters. That'd be awful weird. On account of you should be locked up back here too then. All right. Less than there used to be. Fewer freighters passing. Search me. I mean, I reckon... Less... There's been a whole heap of good advertisements lately.
Unless you're here to file an incident report or to inquire about the bounty posting, I must kindly ask you to clear out. The Mardet's offices aren't... Last tip we got pointed toward the back bays. You want the reward? You and about 6 other enterprising mavericks. It's only a matter of time before someone brings me McRed's head. I do hope you're the lucky hunter, though. Still waiting to hear back on that bounty for McRed. Do I look like your gossipy best friend? While I'm on post, I take my duties real serious. I would have no qualms whatsoever escorting you to a cell. Understand? Then get to business. We're the security force here on Groundbreaker. The original force was made up of a Marine detachment from the 77th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Folks started calling us Mardets because it was easier to say. Guess it stuck. The outlaw scientist fella, right. The boards have... If you have an inkling of the wheres or what fors of his location... To the board, yeah. You've read his wanted poster. Whole list of... But he's never done nothing to Groundbreaker. So I've no problem with him. We keep the poster up to keep the peace.
I picked up this weird signal the other day. It was coming from Monarch.
Here we go again. No one lives on Monarch. It's a wasteland. You were hearing things.
Carry on.
No, seriously. There was a lot of static at first, but then this voice said his name was Graham?
Graham, right. Broadcasting on a dead world full of monsters. Now I've heard everything.
You know, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile.
Who told you that? Graham.
Asshole.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
Crew bills us for air filtration.
The board would like to remind spacers and other travelers that passage to Monarch is restricted for canyons of acid and sulfur rain are the least of the horrors plaguing the surface of Monarch. Anarchists live as one with the animals, lawless, savage, and unemployed. The board's embargo ensures that nothing can leave the planet and threaten our hardworking citizens. This has been Halcyon News, your only source for news in the Halcyon colony.
Rizzo's mock apple cider. A hard cider for a hard life.
If you're not crew, you're little people.
Rizzo's lemon slap. Slap your whole family tonight.
Hey.
Ooh, can we rent an upstairs room?
How do you do? And welcome to the Rest and Go. We used to be the Go and Rest, but folks never knew when to leave. Sorry. Business has been slow. Oh, you can't miss her. Right behind you, number 2. First unit on the left, or second unit from the right, depending on which Fine, as long as the board keeps its grubby Chief Tennyson holds the ship together, the Promenade holds our economy together. Our Chief Tennyson has an independent streak. There's a reason. Our local guard, Of course,
Move along.
Bless my heart. A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door.
You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient, or an oven. Just like store-bought. Those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board's control. Now, I only have the one nav key, and they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. If you find yourself... Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Do you know Edna, over in engineering? Sweet as a pea, that one. On occasion, she'll pass along transmissions I might find interesting. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the ground. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. And Angie... Can't say I know for sure.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone had to have sent that distress call manually.
Those corps are cleverer than all get out. Might have been a ruse to keep the rest of the board from... Edna didn't seem to think so, and I trust the dear girl's judgment. Well, and if someone set up shop in Roseway, I'd... Maybe whatever they're hiding went to heck, and now they need a few spare hands to clean up the mess. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. Corporate bigwigs will pay top. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time they got to meddle in our affairs. My goodness, aren't you quick on the uptake? I like that. Should you find yourself responding to a certain distress call, and in so doing find yourself in possession of certain valuable corporate secrets, well, then we ought to have a chat over a... Law bless your atoms. Here's a copy of the SOS recording. Don't forget to come find old Gladys when you're done. Might want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. She's been trying to get a handle on... You'll find her fretting in engineering. I'd say she's a sweet girl, but law for... What do you want? That's right, dearie. The only independent station. Though for how long, I can't say. The board can't abide a community that won't bend to its will. They've always got one scheme or another running, looking for ways to bring us to heel. Like this heat business. Shameful. But it won't work. No, sir. Groundbreaker. Go right. Oh, a little of this, a little of that. I buy and sell items that require discretion to dispose. I also knit throw pillows stuffed with the hair of famous tossball players. But that's more of a passion project.
I'm not sure that's entirely legal.
That's half the reason I make them, my dear. But that's not what you wanted to talk about. Groundbreaker's radiators. Been neither fine nor dandy for... Miss Junlei's supposed to be getting them fixed, but the board's The board can't abide a community that won't bend to... They've always got one scheme or another running, looking for ways to bring us to heel. But it won't work. No, sir. Groundbreaker's free till the day... Ask the... I think they made some... Those... But oh... That's why we gotta keep them from getting... Probably. Every once in a while, we get these snippets of radio chat. Claims he's transmitting... Anytime, sweetheart.
gone quiet. You ever wonder if maybe folks keep doors closed for a reason? What was that? Nothing there.
Can't say I've seen you before. I take it you're a freighter? If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. We're having a spot of trouble. Did he now? A mouth on that. He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself into it. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm ever gonna... I'd be grateful if you'd spare the time. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster. That's where I'd start, were I the adventuring type. You look out, though. A place... Keep hanging around and I'll... What can I do? You have your...
I'm sorry. Am I causing a scene? See, Umfuru? We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk. Let me get one thing straight. Jessie and I are not friends. I just owe her. As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's a pair. Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy... Good luck getting to Jesse, and better luck if you do. It's a real piece of work.
What seems to be the problem? If only my other patients had so many inquiring at. The records say Miss Doyle checked herself in and requested I admit no visitors. Requests of our patients. She's not my patient. I'm certain no one on my staff would falsify. Not without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. We don't have the ability to manufacture our own. Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics. We'd nearly signed a supply agreement with Anti-Cleos, but they demanded we only use their brand. Not without dispensation from... Take care.
Now, where'd that patient run off to?
Good luck getting to Jesse, and better luck if you do.
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed soon. Of course, this heat sure makes a zero-G brew extra refreshing. Oh, and it's not the best choice. It's a lot of slogans to keep. Heard of it? My orientation aetherwave showed that famous Saltuna cannery, which I'm sure smells as good as it looks.
If you did, that'd be good, actually.
I'd have to go over my contract, but I don't think I'm allowed to leave, So, what can I get you? Some soap? I'm bound to satisfy headgear-related inquiries. Please send any complaints to our Consumer Care Headwear Division. Oh, I'm having a stellar day. And not just because I'm legally obligated to say so. Almost as... I can see all of the top-quality merchandise in the Spacer's Choice. Spacer's Choice regrets that we don't sell toothpaste at this time, but we're always working on... Spread Wash, Mouthwash, and Mantafloss are among the exciting line of... Don't miss out on these deals. You'll find none like them. Trouble sleeping? Try our Lunar Eclipse Mix. That's 2 handfuls. The blast will send you through this. You would never ask if you knew. I mean, why, anyone can be a Spacer's Choice Consumer Relations Choice Specialist. Add an additional 10% to your purchase today, and the proceeds will be at Spacer. Even if my contract didn't forbid it. Now, are you ready to make Spacer's Choice Damn it. Now. It's fine. Speaking of... anything... Oh, sorry. It's a script. If I don't follow it to a T... Spacer's choice... You... Well, this is just the beginning of a long, fruitful... Have a look.
Moms had to go on break. She didn't have
Great law, is it hot in here? Or is it just my... Yeah. Take that darling ship of yours down to Roseway, where that distress signal I told you about came from, and ferret out some tasty corporate secrets for old... Shouldn't be too tough. I found a handsome ceramic mandapillar at a salvage auction last week.
Seeking relief from the heat? Till June Lay gets those radiators fixed, I hear tell some folk down in the townships are getting offered early retirement. Who'd think of... The and we're all... Couldn't say, and I wouldn't be pouring drinks professionally if I could. All I know is we're cooking in our own juices here, and it's only... They're supposed to gather up all the heat the systems generate and vent it into... Instead of the heat going where it ought, though, it seems... Weeks? I lost track. Engineering. Chief Junlei Tennyson, to be precise. She don't know what's got her dragging her heat. That's not for me to say. There's nobody who knows more about the state. She doesn't come around. What ain't I got?
Hot enough for you?
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
You know that sound when you've snapped on an injector clip? I got a full line of weapon modifications I'd be... Why, it gets you the weapon best...
All the better for performing a little percussive...
Take your basic Deadeye assault rifle. Perfectly serviceable. But what if you like finesse? Slap a scope and silencer on that bad boy. Bunker down. What if you like getting in close and making a lot of noise? Extended ammo magazine and a barrel heatsink to bump up... Only to... What? So...
I hear scary things about Mom.
I was wondering what they do with their waste. I guess we just keep it down here. Where'd it all go?
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
Yeah, no one wants you on Groundbreaker.
These stairs are board property. Disperse now or
I'm just gonna hang in the back and try not to touch anything.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. You must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. Has something happened? Oh no, this is terrible. My dear... Oh, Alex. He was my dearest friend. You have his ship, you must know. That picture of us on the promenade, me hugging him, him wincing. Ah, let's just tell me. No! How dreadful. That was always Alex's. Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. There, I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience. However, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you... You haven't read the posters? He's a terrorist, a thief, a... Well, Alex knew, or he said he did. And you have his ship. Maybe he kept some records around, or... That's... Well, that's just... Oh, I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional. It's personal business, I'm afraid. Information on the whereabouts of Phineas Wells would go a long way. It's fine, really. Now, if you've nothing else, please see yourself out. I'm the certified representative of the board's interests here on the Groundbreaker. I'm their eyes, ears, and busy little... I have few
Good law. Who'd want to... No. Emphatically no. Best to be clear, law, but it's miserable. My underarms are damp. How can I... Chief Tennyson is supposedly looking into the cause, but I've seen no action from her. Deplorable conduct. My superiors will be hearing about it. You can be certain of that. Oh, you've noticed my friends. Wonderful. Aren't their guns very large? Tremendously impressive. They're here to keep the peace, of course. Precisely. Groundbreaker makes much ado about its independent status, and so resents any board... When the alternative is board guards at their gates, yes, I do. They don't see it that way, of course. A luxury stateroom, reserved... Oh, good law, of course not. He'd never... As this office is the primary embassy for the board on Groundbreaker, corporate bylaws specifically state a room must be maintained for the chairman's exclusive use. Ask away.
Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information leading to the captain. RT greeting. Potential by this unit is... This unit is programmed to shock simulation non-function. Shock simulation restored. How dare shock subroutine complete. Estimated by this unit dispense.
Wish we had bigger weapons. But no. Be careful about blowing holes in the hull.
You look like someone who's taking their share of cuts. We... Everything... Not me, but it's in my blood.
If you're hungry, they're terrible. Between might just long just as
Oh, neat! They got stuff in here I ain't seen in ages.
Sublight for life. The corporation's never lifted it. Salvage is a family business. We've got each other's backs.
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping, a legitimate business for legitimate... You the one flying the... Miss Lily has been expecting... Sure am. A few years back, they got me started on simple acquisition. These days...
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of Aggressive Operations. I'm guessing... Charm. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was... Is Ada still at the helm? I don't know how many times I told Hawthorne to restore that smart... I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with...
Just like in the serials?
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. First, an embargo that's been active ever since the board pulled its forces off-world. Few regulations, plenty of freedom. And second, all the goodies. I like that initiative, but ease back on the throttle. Gladys at the Rest and Go might have what you need. If there's anything else, be quick about it. Time is bits. These days, the scrap business all but runs itself. Our field is persuasive acquisitions. At least that's how my league... Not... Your word. Hey, careful with the C word around here. I like to keep things above board. Very. I like to... Be seeing you.
Wimbrel? The pirate ship? I don't believe
Are those XF-411s? And an old Yakita 37? You think they'd let me peek at the power plant?
Good law, the heat in here is so unbearable I can hardly even concentrate.
Something you need?
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Groundbreaker doesn't see many visitors. No, it isn't. It's a mess. But it's my mess, so I'll take the compliment. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. I hope there won't be any problems. Good. Don't go making trouble, and chances are you won't find any. That's how I like it here. So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10 the answer's just passing through. Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. Maybe someone in the promenade can get you the right weapon for the job. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outsiders.
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name. What can I do for you?
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with actual, real spaceships, Miss Junlei. Chief Junlei.
Junlei is fine.
Force of habit, I guess. Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if... Well, maybe you could...
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati. You can ask me anything.
Right. Wow, great. I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Oh, you...
Not a problem, Captain. Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated air into my ship. Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me into a corner. None. Every time I give in to the board, Groundbreaker loses its freedom. Soon there won't be... The board isn't helping, and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back online, Groundbreaker, everyone aboard... Reasonable, huh? That's the best news I... According to my grandmother's old schematics, the parts we need should be in the back bays. Sorry, I forgot not everyone knows this ship like I do. The back bays are on a lower deck, long abandoned and a haven for miscreants now. Those idiots are immune to reason, and they don't much care if the station melts to pieces. They're content to die last. If you could find some way to solve this without violence, I'd prefer that. But more than anything, we need those... I have. One of my engineers, plus a small I can't afford to lose any Mardits on this job. No offense. Mardits are descended from the original Marine detachment that crossed the void with Groundbreaker. I don't put their lives on the line if I can avoid... Good. Once you've obtained the parts, we can proceed to the next... This whole deck smells like ass. Frustrating. Plus... Sure is. The Tennysons came over on the Groundbreaker. My grandmother, Chief Gayan, kept it together during the crossing and until she died. I was promoted only recently.
They must have been amazing people to have taught you all you know, I mean, which is a lot.
That means a lot coming from a fellow engineer. It was different knowing that I couldn't turn to anyone who could answer the tough questions for me. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker. This ship is family. It's got tinkerings and bypasses that only Tennysons know about.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm really just a dab hand with a wrench. Nothing special. Not like a chief engineer.
Don't sell yourself short. It doesn't take a seasoned pro to tinker on Groundbreaker. Just someone who knows. We're always thirsting for help. If you could find your way around this labyrinth of ducts and panels... I hope that was a joke, Captain. I really do. I yelled at that thing. You see any bite-sized Tennyson children running around? I didn't. The next captain won't have my heritage. I'll have to foster that talent from somewhere. You've got my... You're right, I don't. The board is after two things, bits and power, and they only get it... I like to think of myself as a nice person, but if that gaudy embassy of his was on fire, I might hold my breath a moment before act... The board wants control over Groundbreaker, and leeches like Udom Bedford will do anything to please their I placate them when I have something to offer, but I can also be a real hard-ass. It'd be a joy if I could kick out the corporate merchants and reclaim the docking fees in my lifetime. Too much of Groundbreaker's income is flowing in the wrong direction. I'd like to see that change. You've got my...
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
Who the... Hey, McBride, were you expecting any company?
A neighbor from above approaches our realm. Back away now, or you'll parley with the king. Look at this ripe piece of meat just sizzling on the grill. Yum, yum. Time to feed the flames.
Is this what carbon monoxide poisoning looks like? I don't think this deck is too well ventilated.
You came with the crew. Welcome. We got plenty of space to spread out. I know this ain't a toy, neighbor from above. It's a catalyst, just like me.
That's right, sir. Just the parts. We'll be in and out in a jiff. You won't even know we were here.
Tennyson just keeps feeding the furnace, don't she? We're still playing with her last... You don't just ask a king for a favor when you're standing in his court.
Hey, McRed, were you expecting any company?
A neighbor from above approaches our realm. Back away now, or you'll parley with the king. Look at this, ripe piece of time.
Is this what
You came with... I know...
That's right.
Tennis... We were just sitting... You know... Yeah! Don't fuck with us!
Who the... Hey, McRed, were you expecting any company?
A neighbor from above approaches our realm. Back away now, or you'll parley with the king. Look at this, ripe time.
Is it?
You can't... Listen to the fire, those... Alive... My flame? Shit. Little Flick...
Don't worry, Mr. McRed. We'll treat Mr. Flick extra nice on account.
I'll miss my baby Pyro, but it beats losing my head. This Keen eyes you got there. Sunita gave me this lighter. We had a carnal understanding a few... Lay it on. Ship got impounded. That...
That's right, sir.
Tennyson just keeps feeding. You don't... Tributed.
Don't we need those bits, Captain? To buy...
You've got the run of the kingdom. Up those stairs. Lay it up. You can come and go.
Smells kind of like old Bess's outflow pipes.
Uncle Red gave me a taste of the good stuff. I've been tripping.
Careful with that shit. He'll end up as crazy as he is.
It takes crazy to live in this universe. Crazy cosmos. Crazy cosmos. Guy swollen tongue again.
Oh yeah? Fuck your birthday.
Aura is like a disco ball caught in a black hole.
Lay's gonna be pleased as pie when we show her these.
Shh.
Bullshit.
Wake up. There's no such thing as pizza. It's all open-faced pasta.
Here we go!
Don't mess with me!
Good job, Cap! Oh. I'm ready for this.
Ah!
It's so cozy.
Branded when they join McRed's crew.
Hey, you! What do you think you're doing? You're free to go.
We got another complaint. People don't like worms in their shrooms.
Aw, they're just tilling the soil. Besides, they're my friends.
Find a new friend. This worm fixation is screwing with our bottom line.
Captain, look out!
You've returned, and in one piece. Good work. I'll take those. I need you to head through the large door at the far end of engineering. Take the elevator down into the machinery shaft. There's a terminal in the back. Activate it when I call over the ship's PA. And bring weapons. There's a slight man to... More than a few. Less than a hive. Nothing you can't handle. We were salvaging parts from a ship. Turned out there were eggs inside. They got into... If every repair was... You can...
Don't worry, Miss Junlei. We'll be super gentle with the ship. You don't gotta...
I'm genuinely heartened.
Controls are in the back of the machinery shaft area. Clear of the radiator. You don't need to know the mastery, but I'd be mighty grateful if you did. I've got this thing about dying.
Nice one! That gotta hurt. Incoming! All together! Don't mess with us!
security mechanicals suited up and killed a bunch of mantis. Bad news. Diagnostic says their circuit boards are heat, so they're not too picky about who they kill next. Shoot back if you can. Shoot back if you need to. I can always fix them later.
Here they come!
Process secure.
Here they come!
That's the terminal. I have the parts in position on my side. Go ahead and cycle the droplet pumps.
Clinic
And if you don't know
sweeping
what that
the
means,
area.
I said, cycle droplet. Done. The temperatures are dropping. Stop by once you found your way out of there. Groundbreaker owes you thanks.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following.
My boards are returning to green. What a weight that is off my shoulders. I don't normally tolerate outsiders mucking about. The temperature should be dropping as we speak. I'll see to it the crew knows who kept us all from boiling. If you've got time, I believe Edna has a comms issue that could use your attention. I've also authorized Doc and Furu to sell you our premium meds.
Whenever you're free, let's have a chat. You aiming to send a message? If so, we bet.
Me? No. We're going... Our primary relay station's soon to be occluded by a gas giant. Happens every 40 years or thereabout. The event's forecasted to last for months, during which we'll...
That'll put the whole system in a right...
We've got backup auxiliary relays, but the one currently in orbital... Yeah, but...
Hope you don't...
Oh, and I'll need you to retrieve a copy of the relay's backup data. I gotta forward any messages from Earth stored in the memory. Better late than never. The relay stations orbit the edge of the Halcyon system, so they tend to receive the majority of any... I'm sure the station's got a stack of junk messages just... It's not...
CNP pancake mix. Now required.
Hello. Now, is there a better selection?
For the last ratted on rotten time. You What? Criminy. Seems I've got...
The truth is, you, think? If... Let's... Any... Thanks. Or I...
This is Halcyon News.
How do you do? Miss Doyle owes the board a significant sum. Alas, the only collateral she has is her organs. That's not...
I guess it's better than losing your organs, but... I don't know, Cap.
Miss Doyle is deeply in debt, and the board has every right to do whatever they like to What guarantee do I have that she'll agree to the terms you negotiate? You might be I will recall my collection agent. Tell Miss Doyle to report. Now, is there anything else you need, or can I return to my work?
Wish I could say it was good to see you, Ellie. The good news came through the wireless. Looks like you paid my debt to Jesse. I guess that means... Tell you what, I'm a little short on bits at the moment, but I'm a decent scrapper and a better than average... If you're looking for a medic, I can work my debt off. If I'm being honest, and I prefer not to, I was about ready to pick up another contract anyway, and you settled this... But we can say I'm repaying the favor if you prefer that version. You won't be sorry. Or if you are...
Welcome to the crew, Miss Ellie. We're real happy to have you.
Something on your mind? I'm a surgeon by training and a pirate by inclination. Not much else to know, Captain. I like long walks on the promenade and the smell of space... It's a... Sure do. There's a lot of business that goes through the ground. I've done all... Glad to... Well, my blood type is AB positive. I'm a Leo, and I despise Space Hospital. Never mind what anyone else... That about covers it. Aw, come on. That stuff's boring. Look, the thing I've learned about living in close quarters is that you've got to give people... I'm all for making a few bits together and having fun doing it, but let's keep a little... No compl...
expect you out here again.
Miss Ellie, Dr. Finhill. I noticed your pistol's been making a funny noise.
What are you talking about? I oil it every night.
Well, look here. Your slide's not recoiling fully. You might be due for a new spring. I could take a look, maybe fix it for you.
Sure. I'm short on bits at the moment, but I'll pay you back.
Oh, no. I mean, it don't cost nothing. I got a spare spring in my pocket here, even.
Everything's got a price.
Groundbreaker's safe. Well, I didn't expect her to be... Gosh, did you see how everybody on Groundbreaker listens to Junlei? She's just... It's just...
How goes the hunt? Nothing excessive, mind you, but the scoundrel deserves a light... I believe I'm growing fond of you, bounty hunter. If you got the... Here's the bounty payout. Nice work down there. With any luck, we can hire more sharp-eyed bounty hunters like... Without...
What can Groundbreaker secure? Chief, anything else? Chief Junlei Tennis. Her. Now, if anybody could prove them criminals, the board. Some. Against is a. You might.
That doesn't sound right to me, Captain.
People do what they got. Gets a mite boring at this desk, you know. Then I get to chatting too much and... Oops!
Oh, don't worry.
Awful... What can Groundbreaker... Yeah, I'm getting that, but this area's... You have done a lot for us, Captain. I'll talk to the Commandant about scheduling a thank you tour for you. All right, I guess.
Hey, bounty hunter. You're... Nothing at the...
What can Groundbreaker...
Heard from the lasses down on 22 that
You take real good care of your...
Hey, you got a second? Hey, we don't know each other yet, but I'm Felix Millstone. I was in the middle of a little discussion with the I noticed your ship in port. Got to thinking you might be looking for some crew, so Gotta hand it to you, boss. That's a fine-looking ship. Only thing... Yes, just give me a shot. That's all I'm asking. I could be the best damn crew you ever... You're serious, you're giving me a shot. I put together a little speech, just... Hey there, I'm Felix Millstone. I have prepared a list of reasons why I believe you should hire... Firstly, I am highly personable, and I get along well with anyone...
I'm sorry.
Secondly, I can be counted on in the event of a firefight, standoff, and/or raid. My motto is, if you need a... That motto is it's a work in progress. Additionally, I have several years of experience as a box hauler. This skill may come in handy if you need a body dragged away or a door held open while escaping enemy. In conclusion, thank you for considering me for your ship crew and/or outlaw gang. I look forward to our adventures to...
I thought that was real good, Felix.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. What do you think? Am I in? The fun kind? Wow. Thanks, boss. I'll just gather my personals and meet you on board.
Well, this'll be interesting.
Did you bring me anything? New parts? Last weekend's crossword puzzle? Preferably not already filled out this time. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? The unit is a cleaning SAM. Hawthorne brought it on board some cycles ago, I'm sure with the intent to modify. Alex likely recorded progress notes detailing his efforts to modify SAM. If you check the terminal in your captain's quarters, we may be able to determine what work remains. Yes, Captain.
There's viscera and death everywhere. Gunfire, gnashing teeth. The unemployed. For law's sake, if anyone's receiving this, please. What?
Captain, we are now capable of accessing the Roseway landing pad. Also, corporate protocol requires that all distress signals include a list of key personnel for retrieval. The embedded names are Anton Crane. Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? A star walks into a black hole but doesn't seem phased. The black hole then turns to the star and says, I don't think you understand the gravity of this situation. Now playing a Spacer's Choice at... It's not the best choice! Everyone in... As you wish. What part of the... yes. There is a bounty on his head, one with a markedly high reward amount. A sensible choice, as we do not have. The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure of precautions to make the lab undetectable to those hunting. Even knowing the location, my systems... Of course, what part of the colony? We're cleared to dock if we're... You are more... Goodbye. Make yourself at home, Captain.
Hey, Captain. She sent me a poem. I don't know if I should read. Oh, I don't know where it's leading yet, or Thanks, Captain. I actually had another message from Junlei. I just couldn't work up the courage to open it. Let's see here. Talking about old friends. They were close, Captain. I don't know. Junlei talked about them like it was past, but how far in the past? Captain, I'm feeling all mixed up right now. Could we maybe head to the Groundbreaker? Get some drinks at that bar? Thanks, Captain.
You see we had a conveyor pull in? One of them interstellar jobs.
Wish we had bigger weapons, but no. Be careful about blowing holes in the hull.
This is it. Security. I can check the departures registry to find out which crew the Scholar shipped in and out with.
What can groundbreakers... Anything...
Hey, bounty hunter. You're nothing at the...
What can groundbreak... That's what... I told you. You have done a lot for us, Captain. I'll talk to the... All right, I guess. In and out, though. Just try not to do any shady stuff. I'd like to keep my job.
There it is. Just yank the drive and... Now that we have the data cartridge, I can finally find out where that Scholar I'm looking for ended up. Got it. His name is Reginald Cheney, and he joined us. Ah, yes. I should have. I admit.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Fudge. A soft, sour candy syrup.
So, how's this work? Do we get a table? Stand in a corner?
It's Halcyon News. We interrupt your regular...
Okay, so... Oh, and don't worry on the price. I got this. Oh! Beer. Bottoms up.
Welcome to a favored pastime of the common masses, Ms. Holcomb. I myself don't imagine...
Ah! This tastes like the underside of a boot. Oh, Captain. I'm pining for... Specifically. Definitely... I mean, just... with June. I don't know what to do about... Well, she talked about another girl, right? Isabel. Mentioned her... Maybe I've been making a right fool of myself this whole time. Maybe she's not interested after all. It was real long and rambly. She was telling me a story about her dad, how a lady named Isabel. This Isabel lady never quite managed to get her dad's approval, but they carried on anyways. Made something good. Then it all went down the tubes. Do you think Junlei still has feelings for her? I just got a lot of feelings, Captain, and they're all... I need another drink. Right now. Law, no. That beer tasted... All right, here we go. Oh! Everything? I got a solar system's worth of... Does she think I'm as pretty as I think she's handsome? What if she doesn't like me? What if she does? What if she's still got feelings for that lady, Isabel? What if we get together and... Don't you tease me in my moment of weakness. That's... Well, it's tripped folks up in the past. Folks I thought cared about me. What, just move on? Like snapping your fingers? I don't know. Maybe I gotta... Yeah, I know you're right. Just wish it were that easy, is all. Back in Edgewater, there wasn't no one who wanted to know my mind. Excepting my dad. Gosh, I don't know that I got that in me. Sometimes I feel real mean inside, Captain. I think... Yeah. I like the way you put that, like, it's okay to want to be... Well, Captain, this has been... Oh gosh, I don't know, Captain. Do you... Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Right when we get back to the ship. I mean, probably. Eventually. Thanks for hearing me out and giving me counsel. And, well, for being a friend.
Well, it's not like I could be elsewhere. Nor am I capable of neglecting a wayward lamb in need.
Huh. All right. Thank you, guys. You're real good friends, you know that? I wish... Come on, let's...
Hey, be careful with those crates, huh? Mike?
Good, you're back. Not that I missed you. I assure you, I am not capable of such emotional capacity.
Hey, Captain. I hope I wasn't too much bother at the bar. I did have fun. Though, that whiskey did give my head aching something fierce. Feels like a primal's chewing on my... I wouldn't mind having a drink again. I messaged Junlei when we got back and she replied super quick. Okay. I was awake half the night. I reread my message in the morning and it was unclear. I was drinking when I sent it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the courage. Also, sorry. I've ruined things in the past because I didn't say things I should have, like, I've met someone. I want to be honest with her. So if she feels the same about me, there won't be any... Oh, isn't she sweet? Like one of those two-bit romances where one soul's all stiff and formal and I should be glad. I ought to go write her back. I mean, I already did. Twice.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I... See you soon, Captain. We're now in orbit above Roseway, Captain.
I need a word. This Roseway business smells. Something tells me things didn't end well for the guy who made the distress call. And whoever or whatever got him will be... What's there to know, Captain? Shady corporate town caught up in shady corporate shit. Tough luck for them, but maybe an opportunity. With a lot of these companies, the thrashing you take from your boss is worse than whatever a bunch of marauders will do to you. Doesn't exactly encourage calling for aid when there's a fuck-up. If you say so, I'm keeping a finger on the trigger. Anyway, we might as well take a look out there, see if we can get the jump on whoever's waiting for us.
I think I'll initiate an unscheduled rest cycle while you're out.
No security. Not that I'm complaining.